A secret is very powerful. It can be so overwhelming. It's capable of draining your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and even your physical health. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is EmmySpeaks, and I am Emmy. It's always such a privilege to have you joining on every episode. Today, I'm particularly excited about this episode because it is the very first Viewer's Choice edition. So last week I did a survey, and before I did this survey, trust me, I had conflicting thoughts like the channel has been existing for just a few months and I'm already doing a survey. But then I still pushed myself to do the survey, and I was asking people to just highlight the episodes that have motivated them, encouraged them, and helped them the most. And also, they should give suggestions on what topics they would like for us to talk about. Surprisingly, I got amazing feedbacks. Thank you to everyone who responded. Some of the feedback messages just melted my heart. Of course, when I started this channel, the hope was I was going to reach out to people with encouragement, help, hope, motivation. But I didn't think it was going to be this much this soon. So, people were telling me this particular content themed this, motivated me, helped me, encouraged me, and these are the steps that I've been able to take so far. And I'm like, yay, it's working. I'm just so blessed that I get to be the voice that brings these things to you so that you can hear and learn from them. Also, I got interesting topics which you suggested for us to talk about. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll pick the topics randomly, build contents from there, and then come and share with you all, because after all, I'm at your service. Also, for some of these topics, I felt that there were things that people were struggling with and people had questions about, and that's why they suggested the topics, which is why I don't take it lightly. I'm going to do research on them. I'm going to talk to the Lord about it. The Lord is going to inspire me on which direction to take as far as the topic is concerned, because I know that if you suggested this, there is probably a question in your heart or a worry in your heart which you're trying to answer. So let's begin. I randomly picked the first topic, and so today we are going to be talking about First, let me take the time to welcome everyone who is stopping by my channel for their very first time. You're welcome. Nice to meet you. I'm Emmy. What's your name? This is EmmySpeaks. It's a home of inspiration, motivation, encouragement, and fun. Here we just get to share stories and life experiences and messages just so that we can learn, be motivated, and be inspired. I hope that by the time you leave, one thing I say here would inspire you. Okay, but please, before you go, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so every week when I post a new content, you will be notified. Today, we are talking about the power of secrets. Yes, secrets are powerful, and this topic was suggested by one of the viewers. This viewer also went ahead to say that let us talk about how not to let someone's secret overwhelm you. I'm going to be sharing a few things from my own experience of secrets, how it made me feel, and some steps that I took in order not to let it overwhelm me, and also not to be the one that overwhelms others, because it's a two-way thing. The person who is being told the secret and the person who is telling the secret. Let me share with you an experience which I had a couple of years back. So I did something which I wasn't very proud of, and it was so heavy, I needed to tell someone about it. And so I called my friend because at the time I was out of town. So I called her and told her that I need to tell her something and I have to do this in person. This cannot be done over the phone. And she's like, okay. When you come back, We'll talk about it. The next day, I traveled back to town and I couldn't even come to my house. I had to go to her house first. That's how overwhelmed I felt. I just really needed to talk to her before even getting home. So I went over to her place. I told her about it. I felt so relieved that, I've told someone about this thing. It's now off my shoulders. She listened to me, of course, and because of the weight of what I shared with her, she was kind of speechless. We never got to talk about it any further. And yes, I wasn't looking for someone to tell me anything about it. I was just looking for someone to listen. What I did not realize was the fact that, yes, I had lifted that weight from my shoulder, but then I just dumped it on her. Yes. So something I couldn't handle, something that was so overwhelming for me, I took it off and I just put it on her. A few weeks after that day, I realized that my friend spilled. She has shared that information with some other person. And trust me, it was very delicate. I shared it with her. She shared it with some other person. I found out about it and I was so angry. I distanced myself from her. I was so angry at her and it affected our relationship for so long, for over a year. It affected our relationship because I felt betrayed. At the point, I was like, I don't even care for what reason she might have told someone. The fact is, she couldn't hold on to my secret, and that made me so angry. I no longer trust you. I can't be friends with you anymore. We're just going to be casual acquaintances. And that's how we went on with our relationship for a whole year. Earlier this year, we had a class in the School of Ministry about building godly relationships. After that class, the pastor asked us to do a reflection, to reflect on the current state of our relationships. He was like, look at the relationships that are important to you. Are they healthy? Is there anything you can do to change it? And if you could do something different, what is that thing that you would do different in order to try and fix that relationship? While I was doing that reflection, I realized that that friend of mine is still very important to me. But our relationship was affected as a result of what happened. So I took that scenario to the Lord. I was telling God about it. She hurt me. She couldn't hold on to this. And she was probably saying this so people would look at me as bad and all of this. The Lord highlighted a question. He's like, why did you feel the need to tell her in the first place? And I said to myself that because it was overwhelming. It was heavy, it was draining, and I really needed to talk to someone so that I would feel lighter about it. And so immediately, the Lord brought another thought to my mind, like, what about her? Did you ever consider that it could be equally overwhelming for her? When that happened during that class, my mentality just changed. All year long, I blamed her for being the reason why our relationship was affected. But at that particular point in time, I realized that it's been my fault all along. Number one, a secret which I couldn't handle because it was really overwhelming. My secret, I could not handle it. It was mine. But I couldn't handle it. It was draining me. So I had to talk to someone about it. Instead of talking to maybe a counselor, someone that could actually give me help, I thought it wise to rather talk to my friend about it. And it wasn't fair that I put that kind of weight on her. And when I put that weight on her, I expected that she should keep it. Something which I couldn't keep because of how overwhelming it was. I was expecting that of her. In what world is that even fair? When I looked at it from that perspective, I just went to her. I spoke to her about it and I'm like, I'm sorry that I put this weight on you. I didn't even ask for your permission. I didn't even ask you how that made you feel, and yet I expected you to carry. Yes, I found out that you told someone about it. Am I happy that you told someone? No, I'm not. I'm not happy. But I also realized that it must have been equally heavy for you as it was for me. So, we're good. My point is, when it comes to a secret, it has to do with the teller and the receiver. If you have this If you have the awareness that secrets in themselves are powerful, they are overwhelming, they are emotionally draining, they are mentally derailing, then you would think twice before you even share. Talk less of expecting someone to carry in secrecy. When I talk about thinking twice, I'm talking about asking yourself maybe just two questions. Number one, is it okay to put this kind of weight on someone? Number two, can the person handle it? I know that sometimes some things really get us angry and we just want to talk to someone about it. If you just go about talking anyhow, you're being unfair. You're being unfair to the receiver because yes, you're going to talk about it and get it over and done with. But what about the receiver? What about the person who receives this weight? Is a person going to be over and done with it so easily? When you consider that, then you're going to think twice and actually be sure before you go about spilling your secrets. A secret is very powerful. It can be so overwhelming. It's capable of draining your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and even your physical health. So I hope that you consider these things the next time you're thinking about sharing your secret with someone. Always ask yourself, is it okay to put this weight on this person? And can the person handle it? I also hope that it will help you to show more grace when you find out that people spilled a secret you told them. I'm not saying that it's okay to spill. There's definitely a place for secrecy and trust. Some people just don't know what to do, how to handle themselves when an information overwhelms them. And that is what we're going to be looking at in the next episode. We're going to be talking about how to manage a secret so that it doesn't overwhelm you to a point where you get to spill just because probably you had no other choice. But yeah, some people just gossip and we cannot nullify that fact. Thank you all for watching. I hope that this has encouraged you in one way or the other and also enlightened you as far as secrets are concerned. I will see you on the next episode. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I'm leaving you with so much love, light, and a very beautiful smile to just spark up your day. Remember to stay motivated, stay inspired, and stay encouraged. Don't forget, I am Emmy, and when Emmy speaks, she speaks to the world. Are you listening? Bye.